afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if we could just get the unruly parents under control, we'll be ready to start. Will you please stand for our national anthem by one of our most talented graduates today, Cladera, who has come to us from Uruguay as a student. We're very proud of him.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets let glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Cladera. Benjamin Franklin once offered this prayer: grant that not only the love of liberty but a thorough knowledge of human rights may pervade all the nations of the earth, so that a philosopher may set foot anywhere on its surface and say, "This is my country." Amen. Surely we can join in that sentiment at the College of Charleston, a place we proudly proclaim to be the university of the world. And that sentiment, as you will soon learn, is entirely appropriate to our distinguished guest, our graduation speaker. More than a half century ago, Dr. Henry Nelson Snyder, the president of Wofford College, wrote, "I have never felt there was anything quite like an American college commencement. Here are fused to create an atmosphere, some of the most noble of human emotions, the presence and the very air of sacrifice on the part of both parents and students, the glow of satisfaction at the reward it has received at last, the hope, the faith in the future as a result of what these degrees and these diplomas represent. Then that feeling that comes from the breaking of the ties of comradeship, and also the presence of groups of alumni of various ages, sometimes noisy in their handshaking and backslapping, critical as alumni are of any changes that have been made since their day, lapsing back into an exaggerated replica of their college days. All of these but hint at the imponderable presence that makes commitments unique in behavior and meaning. We are, of course, gathered for that very special occasion about which Dr. Snyder wrote, an American college commencement. And not just any American college commencement, the most unique one in all of America, in all of the world. We rejoice in all those who are graduating today from the College of Charleston just a few short years ago. They came to us with high hopes, lofty ambitions, and a commitment to learn. With increased knowledge and wisdom gained through hard work and perseverance, they have finally arrived at this grand day. More important than the information they have absorbed on this campus and the skills they have learned here, they have acquired something that will guide them the rest of their lives, something that will be with them when the information becomes outdated and the skills outworn. They have learned what colleges and universities struggle most urgently to teach. They have learned how to learn. Those we teach and those who teach us are only those whose lives we share. Our graduates have honored us by sharing their lives with us and by allowing us to share our lives with them. Today, we honor them for having done so. We recognize today is also a family affair representing love, patience, and in many instances, real sacrifice. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the administration, we honor not only those who graduate, but their families as well. I will now be joined by Mr. Joel Smith, Chairman of the College's Board of Trustees, for the conferring of the honorary degrees. I will ask Trustees Charlotte Berry and Vincent Price to escort Dr. Gordon B. Stein to the podium. I now recognize Mr. Smith for the purpose of presenting Dr. Stein for the degree of Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters, and Mr. Vincent Price, member of the College Board of Trustees, who will hood Dr. Stein following the presentation.
I hereby present Gordon Bernard Stein, one of Charleston's most eminent civic leaders. Dr. Stein was born in Charleston in 1924 and received his baccalaureate degree in chemistry from the College of Charleston in 1944 and his DDS from Emory University School of Dentistry. He served on active duty in the United States Marine Corps from 1942 to 45 and in the United States Navy Dental Corps from 1951 to 53. He remained a naval reservist until 1984, retiring after attaining the rank of lieutenant commander. These magnanimous efforts have been recognized with honors too numerous to mention. Among those are the Exchange Club's Man of the Year Award, the College of Charleston Alumnus of the Year Award, the Boy Scouts Silver Beaver Award, the Exchange District Directors Builder Award, and the Order of the Palmetto from Governor Riley, a Democrat, and Governor Campbell, a Republican. It is my pleasure to present a person who has given freely of himself for the betterment of others through medicine, education, and public service. 55 years ago, the class of 44 graduated on this cistern, but Gordon Stein was serving in the Marine Corps and could not receive his diploma here. His mother picked it up. Today, for the first time, with the class of 1999, Gordon Stein receives a diploma on the cistern.
Thank you very much.
Gordon Bernard Stein, because your record of generous service to your faith, community, alma mater, and country is unparalleled, the College of Charleston is honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Wait. We gotta get going.
And now, by the authority of the state of South Carolina granted to the Board of Trustees and committed to me, I declare that Gordon Bernard Stein is now admitted to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters of the College of Charleston. Congratulations, Dr. Stein.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hand him his diploma.
I gotta get my diploma.
I will now ask Trustees Robert S. Small, Jr. and John Clark to escort Ambassador Rita D. Hayes to the podium. I hereby present to you a distinguished diplomat, Rita Derrick Hayes, Deputy U.S. Trade Representative in Geneva and U.S. Permanent Representative to the World Trade Organization. Rita Hayes has received her undergraduate degree in education from the University of Georgia, after which she attended graduate school at Winthrop. She put her skills in education to use by teaching for a number of years after that. Ambassador Hayes then turned her attention to the State House and beyond that to Capitol Hill. Ambassador Hayes is working to maintain the global electronic commerce free market. It is a pleasure for me to introduce to you a person who has spent a lifetime giving to her state and her country in education, in public service, and most recently in diplomacy at the very highest level, the Honorable Rita Derrick Hayes.
Rita Derrick Hayes, because you have worked tirelessly and astutely to promote world peace through a prosperous global economy, the College of Charleston is pleased to award to you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
And now, by the authority of the state of South Carolina, granted to the Board of Trustees and committed to me, I declare that Rita Derrick Hayes is now admitted to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters of the College of Charleston. Colleges and universities all across America and all around the world, commencement ceremonies are taking place and commencement speeches are being made. There are more than 3,000 commencement speeches in this country alone during this month alone. I can say without exaggeration, without fear of contradiction, that no other college or university anywhere has a speaker with two singularly distinguished credentials. Our speaker today is the first female ambassador in the history of the World Trade Organization, at a time when that is a critical endeavor for the future of the world. And she is America's highest ranking trade ambassador, male or female, in the history of this country to the present time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to you our speaker, the Honorable Rita Derrick Hayes.
Thank you, President Sanders, and members of the faculty, trustees, staff, and most of all, congratulations to the graduates and to the teachers and the families. It's wonderful to be here today to celebrate with you and to honor the class of 1999. Let me begin by saying that each of you has, in addition to the talent and determination and wit any graduate must have, a remarkable opportunity. You live in a world where the economy is increasingly open, where science and technology are more advanced than any time in our history. Several weeks ago, I was addressing a group of students at the University of Geneva, and before I began my remarks, I could hear them discussing the latest movie or the latest music video. Then they shifted their conversation to political events facing us today. They also were talking about their future plans. And you know, this could have been any of you today. You're all coming of an age in a world economy. When I attended my own commencement ceremony, no one could have predicted a world of computers and cell phones or the internet. All over the world, in thousands of different ways, we are beginning to see how we are all alike, how interrelated we are. And when you look at all of what we are looking at and how much we share and have in common, but also how much with globalization we have also with that new responsibilities to more than just ourselves. Today, all of that is open to you and much more along with it. Your generation has much more freedom and more opportunity than any generation that has gone before it. Whether your career takes you into family life, business, or government, or health care, or the foreign service, you have the extraordinary opportunities of a global economy. And society, if you look, you, your parents, and the teachers who have worked hard to facilitate your growth in your education, you have before you now the fun and the challenging part that will be more to putting your skills to use. We are driven today by the most revolutionary of historical forces, advanced technology. Semiconductors, fiber optics, satellites, these and other innovations are making a reality of the 1960s vision of a global electronic village. We're changing the way nations and economies and people interact. Long-distance learning and telemedicine offer to us the potential of not only a smaller world, but a closer world, where millions no longer need to live at the whim of marginal resources. I don't pretend to have the answers for you, but I've met many of you, and you as graduates are familiar with difficult questions. But it does not necessarily make the world you're entering an easy or, most importantly, a more predictable world. We have a new moral obligation when we talk about the globalized world, but we do have the means to realize these obligations, even with all of Americans' resources and strength. With education comes responsibility. With opportunity comes choice. Your generation cannot ignore what is going on in the world outside, economically, environmentally, and morally, any more than you can ignore what is going on in your community or your state. You will no longer just be a citizen of the United States. You will be a citizen of something more. Economically, militarily, culturally, the United States has never been more influential than it is today. Like it or not, you all now bear probably the greatest responsibility for the direction of our world. We therefore need to reflect more deeply on this responsibility, on what kind of world we want for all of us. You heard President Sanders talk a little bit about, when he was making his introduction remarks, about education and what it means. And I looked out as we walked in this afternoon, and also as a proud parents and grandparents and teachers. This is why the education you have received is so precious, and why the sacrifices you made as students, your parents, your grandparents, and the loved ones here today have been so important. And education is just not the books you read or the courses you take. It is far more than the degree you will receive on the stage today. Education is learning about the world so that we can learn about ourselves. To paraphrase Socrates, it is not only suddenly learning what you know very little, but it's knowing that learning is a project of lifetime, not just what you learned here. This was just one phase of your development. There is more to be learned about the mutual relationship you have with those like you around the world. If you look at what the English poet John Donne wrote, that no man is an island entirely to itself, and that was nearly 400 years ago. These same enduring truths from Socrates and Donne hold today. The world looks to us. It looks to us in many different ways, but the world looks to us, it looks to the promise of all of you graduates. And as I said earlier, no country is an island, no culture, no civilization. And when we speak about globalization, globalization means that we all are responsible for one another, and that this responsibility is mutual. You are now the future leaders of the 21st century. You have been given those tools and the ability and the support from your family, your friends, your faculty here at this great institution. I know my two daughters graduated from the College of Charleston, and I'm proud of them and their accomplishments, as well as their determination for the future. I would like just to close with saying, as we begin to write the history of the new century, which will begin in only just a few months away, that responsibility now passes to you as graduates. And you know what? I have no doubt that you will rise to the challenge. Each one of you has a skill and the training to do your part, and you will need it, all because of what is ahead and what will demand of you all the reason and skills that you have as graduates. You face tasks of great consequence for our nation and the world, and the rewards of that will be immense. So I would like to say to you, I'd like to say to your family and to you as graduates, thank you for letting me share this very important day with you. Good luck, and it was good to be with you. Thank you.
Well, that's a message especially for the university of the world. You've made our graduates already wise and wonderful, even more wise and wonderful. We will always be glad to count you as an alumna of the College of Charleston. An integral part of the commencement activities is the awards ceremony which took place yesterday. I ask that each of the award recipients who are graduating today may stand so we may again congratulate them on the awards they received. That's great. This year we have 5 graduates who achieved a perfect 4.0 grade point average. Would each of you please stand as I call your name and remain standing until all names have been called? Perfect record at the College of Charleston in 4 years. Mary Jo Hanahan in elementary education, Christopher Daniel Hornsby in biochemistry and chemistry, Lane Douglas Jeffries in marine biology, Nancy J. Morissette in accounting and business administration, Courtney Lynn Ross in psychology. Congratulations to our perfect students. Now we announce the recipients of this year's Faculty Distinguished Awards that were presented at the faculty meeting on May the 3rd. Would each of you please stand and remain standing until all awards have been announced? The Distinguished Advising Award is given each year to faculty, advisor, or staff member who has demonstrated a dedication to students in the advising area. This year there are 2 recipients of the Distinguished Advising Award, and they are Ms. Penelope J. McKeever, Associate Director of the Intermodal Transportation Program, and Ms. Elizabeth M. Martin, Professor of Chemistry. Stand up. The Distinguished Research Award is given each year to a member of the College of Charleston academic community in recognition of those outstanding qualities which typify the finest expression of scholarly inquiry and creative expression. This year's recipient is Dr. Clark G. Reynolds, Professor of History. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes the person chosen from nominations submitted from the entire college community for dedication and devotion to providing services to the students, the faculty, alumni, administration, staff, and the surrounding Charleston community. The recipient of this award is one who has truly exemplified the spirit of giving of oneself unselfishly, the best idea any of us ever had. And bringing honor and respect to the institution, he is an inspiration to us all, and most deserving of this award, this year's recipient is Dr. Martin Perlmutter, Professor of Philosophy and Religious Studies. The Distinguished Teaching Award is awarded each year to a member of the College of Charleston faculty in recognition of those outstanding qualities which typify the finest expression in teaching in an institution which has traditionally prided itself on excellence in teaching. Candidates for such an award are numerous, and choosing a candidate for the teaching award from among so many great teachers is indeed a difficult, singular honor to present. This year's recipient is again Dr. Clark Reynolds, Professor of History. The only thing left to give Dr. Reynolds would be the Nobel Prize, and we don't have that today. Allow me just another word about our faculty. Just take a second. Much has been said, both praising and critical, about the concept of research in American colleges and universities. Research means many things to many people. At the College of Charleston, research means this. Research is a critical part of teaching and learning at the college. It's a process in which faculty and students engage each other in order to develop new courses, in order to keep abreast of new developments, in order to prepare students for the future. Faculty must conduct research if that is to be accomplished. Now, some recent moves in the legislature are working against this symbiotic process, and that is unfortunate. I am grateful to our faculty for all they do. They are indeed the best thing about the College of Charleston. As I'm sure many of you already know, the class of 1999 has made a special gift to the college this year. Under the direction of Mackenzie Hutchinson, the class completed one of the most successful senior class gift efforts ever in the history of the college. The class has presented to the college an elaborate flagpole which has been placed at our new sailing center dedicated yesterday at Patriots Point, the finest sailing center in America for the finest sailing team in America. So I congratulate everybody who participated in the project, and I thank the seniors. And now we're going to extend to the president of the graduating class, Ms. Mackenzie Hutchinson, an opportunity to make a statement to us on behalf of the class. She will be followed by Tree Marchank, president of the Student Government Association, who will make a statement on behalf of the entire student body. Both of them are magnificent representatives of our students and of the college in general.
President Sanders, Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, family, and friends. Sailing can be defined as beginning a journey, moving along, a voyage or an excursion. We as graduates begin an adventure sailing into the 21st century. As we begin this voyage, we must not forget all the challenges and changes that we have discovered as students here at the College of Charleston and in the world today. When we entered the college just 4 short years ago in 1995 as freshmen, we had no idea what the world would behold for us, what changes we would witness, and what challenges we would encounter. We have said goodbye to Jordan, Elway, and Gretzky, so long to Seinfeld, and now Melrose Place. Hello to Rosie O'Donnell, Ally McBeal, NSYNC, and Barney the Purple Dinosaur. Chandler and Monica have been replaced by Ross and Rachel. Chicken soup has gone from a comfort food to a national bestseller. Titanic went from our history books to the big screen, and Star Wars is back to share a legacy with a new generation of children. So much has happened. The New World Order used to be known as a post-war political definition. Nitro was short for nitroglycerin, and Goldberg was a Supreme Court justice. For some of you, it may seem like you have been here for a very short time, but think of your college career in these terms. Your college education has lasted longer than Brooke Shields' marriage to Andre Agassi, longer than Jenny McCarthy's singled-out career on MTV, and much longer than the dance with the Macarena. Just as the world has begun a new adventure and seen changes, so has the College of Charleston. The college has set forth plans for the new Addlestone Library, completed the new baseball sports complex at Patriots Point, expanded its campus to the Bishop England site, and recently completed the J. Stewart Walker Junior Sailing Complex. We have expanded and reached new heights with the dedication of the 1999 senior class gift, the flagpole at the Sailing Center. Just as the Sailing Center cannot operate without a flagpole, the college cannot operate without people. I would like to thank the wonderful faculty and excellent administration that has governed the class of 1999. They have administered unselfish advice and given of themselves inside and outside of the classroom. And as we make our way in this changing world, we should remember that family should always occupy a central place in our hearts and in our lives. Without the encouragement, motivation, and words of wisdom that our families have offered throughout the years, we would not be where we are today. Finally, I would like to leave the class of 1999 with these inspiring words of one of my favorite authors, Dr. Seuss. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. So be your name Wayne or Mary or Anna Kate or Bob or Rick or Van Allen O'Mate. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Well, it's a great day today, isn't it? I'm pretty excited. It's a beautiful day, actually. There's definitely an aura in the air around. I'm feeling excitement going through everybody here. At least I feel like I am. The rain moved away. That was something of a divine intervention. I knew Judge Sanders had some friends high up, but I didn't realize that high up. It's very nice. But there's definitely something going on in the air here. There's just a tingle in there. I can really feel it, and I hope y'all can too. Can y'all feel it out there? Can y'all feel just like a tingle? Yeah? Really? You can feel it? Great. Good. I'm glad to hear that. But this is an exciting day. It's our commencement celebration. We're celebrating the fact we're going to commence our lives as citizens in the fullest sense. It's our inauguration to that real world we've heard so much about. Hopefully we'll be taking that real world by storm. And it has been a long, long trip. Not just maybe for the 4 or 5 or 6 years we've been here, but for the duration of our entire lives. This is a very important moment, a very long trip. Mom and Dad, I love you both very much. I couldn't have made it here without you. They've supported me just as every other parent out there has supported their children up here, or adults now. Support me financially, spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. It's been great. I wasn't supposed to be able to walk when I was a child when I was born. Never be able to walk. But through their help, I now can. I certainly could have made it here without them. And I know every parent out there deserves the same public appreciation. So I would hope we can all thank our parents now for what you've done. Now, I don't know when I'm going to have a captive audience this large again. Probably never. That's probably right. So I want to share one thing I've learned at the College of Charleston. One, maybe a piece of wisdom, maybe it's a piece of foolishness. I don't know which. It's something I live by, and I'd like to share that with you. Take it or leave it. We've often heard that we should all live our lives each day as if it could be our last. We've all heard that. Forget that. Absolutely forget it. It's impossible. What would you do on your last day? If today were your last day, I wouldn't be here. I'd be emptying my bank account probably as fast as I could, and I don't know, it wouldn't be the most responsible way to live. Instead, I offer an alternative philosophy, and I don't want to offend anyone out here, but live your lives, and this is more directed towards my fellow students, as if it's all over when you're 40. Now, 40, of course, is more or less an arbitrary age, and I'm sure it wouldn't work too well for some of us out here. But pick your own number. It doesn't really matter, actually. It's arbitrary. The point is, it helps us recognize our own mortality, and we need to recognize that. We have a limited number of years here. We need to cherish them, embrace them as fully as possible. Somehow, we manage to ignore the precious significance of our lives and how arbitrarily it can all end. There just simply isn't much time. There's no time for hatred, racism, bigotry, grudges. I implore you not to abandon these on moral grounds, but rather because selfish reasons, actually. All they do is close doors for you. They'll close doors your entire life. They're going to limit your paths to happiness. Abandon them. You've also heard that you should stop and smell the roses occasionally, right? Forget it. Don't do it. Not that you shouldn't be smelling roses, but why should you have to stop to smell them? What is so hard with the concept? Why is it so absurd that we could perhaps live our entire lives in the roses, smelling it the entire time? Why can't we find bliss in our families, joy in our work, security in our friends, so that our entire life is spent smelling the roses instead of only the pit stops? And most of all, there is no time to wait. Everything is now. Thomas Jefferson once asked his gardener to plant a specific type of tree, and the gardener objected, saying that that tree would not reach maturity for 100 years, to which he replied, "In that case, there's no time to waste. Plant it this afternoon." That's how we have to deal with everything. There really is not a whole lot of time to do everything now. The time for everything is now, anytime. So I want y'all to do something when y'all go home. I want you to write down that number 40, or if you feel more comfortable using a different number, take that number, write it down, and tape it to the side of your television, right beside the screen. Why there? If you don't know why, tape it there, and I think you may realize why that's the place to tape it. Just do that, and see, let it serve as a reminder to our time here and how we really have to use it to the best of our ability. So I hope we leave this commencement celebration maybe not reassured, but restless, eager to do battle with the deadly luxury of complacency and self-satisfaction. I really do think there's a tingle in the air. It's opportunity. That's what lies ahead of us, is huge opportunity. Opportunity that flows through us and around us. I pray that we have the clarity of vision and the sharpness of imagination to meet that opportunity with integrity and responsibility. Thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody.
I had tree in one of my classes, and every single class period, I learned something. I will now call on Mr. Joel Smith, chairman of our board, once again. He returns now representing the state of South Carolina to confer the diplomas. Dr. Conrad Fester, our provost, will assist.
Upon the successful completion of all requirements and with the recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor to present the graduates of 1999. Assisting with the presentation of the bachelor's degrees will be Dr. Susan Catwinkle, professor in the theater department, and Dr. Sue Summercrest, vice president for enrollment management, and Professor Joy Vandervoort Cobb, professor in the theater department.
No, that's fine. Thanks. Assisting with the graduates from the School of the Arts will be Dean Valerie Morris. For the bachelor's degree in art history, joining us will be Dr. Mary Beth Heston, acting chair of the department. Michael Philip Benkowski. Amy Carlin Bowles. Emily Joyce Burtz. David Noel Hemingway. Shirley Gonzaga Hughes. Catherine Blaine Kling. Courtney Parnell Kohler. Ashley Shannon Meek. Meredith Lane Miller. Leslie McLeod Muller, cum laude. Joseph Leonard Myers. Summer Lee Myers also meets the requirements for a degree in French. Christopher J. Risher. Sally Cutter Shaw. Christina Danielle Sparks. For the bachelor's degree in arts management, joining us will be Professor Stacy Shaw, director of the program. Amy Suzanne Booth. Kimberly Lynette Cunningham. Allison Fawcett. Lisa Rebecca Galtney. Summer Lynn Jones. Alana Napick Smith. Wendy Ann Reiki. Sarah Redmond Thomas. For the bachelor's degree in historic preservation and community planning, joining us will be Professor Robert Russell, co-director of the program. Thomas Preston Crowther. Brenna Lynn Elrod. Heather Elizabeth Lightbourne. For the bachelor's degree in music, joining us will be Professor Steve Rosenberg, chair of the department. Susanna Agrest also meets the requirements for arts management. Susanna's diploma will be presented by her uncle, Professor Mikhail Agrest of the physics department. Joseph J. Basil. Andres Jorge Cladera. Taylor Phillips Davis. Natalie Christine Hudson. Michael Lawrence O'Callahan. Joshua Lee Paget. Stephen Michael Sandifer. Jeremy Andrew Wolf. For the bachelor's degree in studio art, joining us will be Professor Michael Tyzak, chair of the department. Thomas Joseph Atkins IV. Nicola Louise Baker. Yenan Shireen Batey. Leslie R. Burns. John R. Duckworth. Amy Love Beasley. Amy Lynn M. Bills. Jason Andrew Chambers also meets the requirements for a degree in philosophy. Bradley Herndon Cooper. Charles S. Corey. Sarah Elizabeth Getzman. Erica Sonia Grog also meets the requirements for a degree in philosophy. Emily Kathleen Hagan. Mercedes Olethea Hunt. Hiromi Kato. Portia Palmer Kirkland. Edward Venture Kelly. Janet Page McDonald, cum laude. Susan McKellar also meets the requirements for a degree in arts management. Danielle Marie Melchiore also meets the requirements for a degree in art history. Amy Lorette Modrich. Jody Lynn Olafson. Amy Doyle Olson. Larissa Bonsadar Patel. Anthony Ruelas. Julia Ann Shaw. Kristen Leanne Stark. Justin Waugh, cum laude. Kelly Lynn Wiseman. For the bachelor's degree in theater, joining us will be Professor Alan Lindrup, chair of the department. Nicole Suzanne Bertucci. April Louise Blackmore also meets requirements for English. April is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Darla Michelle Campbell. Jorge Alexis Casanovas III. Eric Christian Korer. Claire Heather Kukalai. Robert Grayson Daniel. Lauren Midget Duffy. Renee Teresa Finke. Donetta Lavinia Grays, cum laude. Donetta's diploma will be presented by Professor Joy Vandervoort Cobb of the Theater Department. Maura Siobhan Haas. Stephen Ray King, Jr. Robert Paul Ledford, Jr. Katie Ann Lau. Rebecca Eileen Richardson. William Kevert Robertson. Sarah Ann Leonard Rolfs. Anna Maria Ruggiero. Elizabeth Lee Shelton. Beverly Tonya Spears. Adrian Candice Stocker. Edgar Lanny Taylor. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Business and Economics will be Dean Clarence M. Condon III. For the bachelor's degree in accounting, joining us will be Dr. Andrew Abrams, chair of the department. Lorraine Jane Kalupas. Miriam Brooke Craig also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Ashley Diane Diorio. Jennifer Lee Dowd also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Joseph Andrew Faust also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Jane Catherine Frothingham also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration, cum laude. Susan Walsman Gager. Kimberly Garrett Henriksen. Brandy Latona James. Sarah Lynn Klink also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Ashley K. Madden also meets the requirements for a degree in arts management. Crystal Lee McGee also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Jennifer Ann Mertes. Stephen Thomas Moose also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Stephen is also a graduate of the honors program, summa cum laude. Nancy J. Morissette also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration, summa cum laude. Cindy Marie Parnell also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. Justin Heath Turner. Anna Nicole Vashina, cum laude. Elizabeth Suter Vaughn. Pamela Gale Welch also meets the requirements for business administration. For the bachelor's degree in business administration, joining us will be Dr. Jim Snyder, acting chair of the department. Adam Lewis Amoros. Kenneth Hilton Asnip. Jonathan Christopher Acone. Rebecca Elizabeth Baer. Thomas Christopher Boltz. Molly Allison Bluyat. Britton Hamilton Barbie. Eric Fields Bishop. Audra Elizabeth Blaine. James Scarborough Bowman. Stephen Newton Boyd. Clark Philip Brash. David Nathaniel Brown. Laura Christ Bullock, cum laude. Felicia Ann Burbage. Brunella Silvis Caldas, magna cum laude. Deanna Lee Cannon. Daniel Patrick Carlberg. Ariane Linda Carr. Scott Anthony Carrington. Christine DeVoe Carson. Christopher Perry Carter. Corey Carter. Anna Maria Castro, magna cum laude. Laurence Chavan. Matthew J. Chrisman. Chauncey Robert Clark also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. William Granville Clark. Catherine Lee Kofer. Gil Dove Cohen. Tricia Claire Conti. Richard Korn IV. Kara Lee Krausen. James E. Davis. Lois Ellen Davis. Mark Richard Davis. Deanna Rebecca DeFore, Colleen Michelle DeMars, cum laude. Melanie R. Dickey, Michael Christopher Dobbs, Stacy K. Donley, Shannon Martin Early, Jacob Madison Elliott, Donald K. Enquiso, Jacob James Farrell, Stephanie Ann Farrow, Jack A. Feedall, Michael Morgan Finane, Casey Marie Fields, Michael Christopher Forbes, Michael Scott Ford, Jason P. Forster, Michael Stephen Frank, Catherine Melissa Fry, Amy Terrell Fulbright also meets the requirements for a degree in business management. Jason William Gaffel, Ashley Jean Gerhardt, Aubrey Rich Giroux, Ross Turner Glidewell, Benedict Matthew Graham, William Taylor Graham, Heather Michelle Gravel, Patricia Jeanette Green, Tammy Renee Groover, Brian McGee Hall, Farrah Brooks Harp, Stephanie Christine Hartzog, Brian Niles Nihini, Denise Michelle Hine, William Shannon Hine, Chelsea Marie Hendricks, Matthew Clark Hill, Damon Hilton, Thomas Lee Hollingsworth, John Travis Howell, cum laude, Julie Deirdre Hauer, Rachel Lee Inabana, Walter Alexander Jablonski, Leon Burton Johnson, Robert Doyle Johnson, Thomas Gregory Kimbrough, Shane M. Kirkman, Kara Marshall Lawson, Jennifer Marie Long, Fabio Luis Mercado, Robert L. Mackey Jr., John P. Manton III, Michael Joseph Markowski, Mark Allen Madison II, Stephanie Lynn Malden also meets the requirements for a degree in communication, Jennifer Lee McCall, B.J. McGuire, Sarah Cameron McKeever. Sarah's diploma will be presented by her mother, Penny McKeever, of the Business and Economics Department. Kristen Ann McClernon. No, I guess. Michael Page McWhorter. Michelle Blackburn Meadows. Mary Elizabeth Miller. Amy Louise Milligan also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Amy is also a graduate of the honors program. Elodie Stephanie Mireux. Jennifer Renee Mixon. Kelly Teresa Louise Moorhead. John Richmond Naylor. Christopher Dale Nelson. Christina Marie Newport. Rebecca Antoinette Nurse. Kelly Lorene Page. Sarah Ashley Peck. Jimmy Ray Pelham Jr. Myra Natalie Perez. Shanika Latrice Person. Pamela Rokisha Pinkney. Melinda L. Plexico. Laura Sloan Presley. Anthony Paul Provenzano. Emily Ray Riddell also meets the requirements for a degree in arts management. Ron Aaron Reddick. Patricia R. Reese. Jeffrey Michael Reed. James S. Richmond. Brandon Scarborough Rivers. Craig Allen Ross. Linda C. Rodebush, cum laude. Daniel Shane Rumsey. Aaron Schaefer. Howard Malin Scott, Sherry Christine Searle, Erin Michelle Shaver, Stacy Susan Shepard, magna cum laude, Pierre Antonio Simmons, cum laude, Jessica Grace Smith, Mary Teresa Smith, Reagan Rawls Smith, Kip Carlisle Snow, Carrie Aline Sobchak, Karen Elizabeth Soons, Scott Jonathan Spignardo, Heather Lee Tanev, also meets the requirements for a degree in communication, Lauren Marshall Taylor, Morgan Andrew Taylor, Kristen Renee Waters Hanchy, Justin Tate Watford, Cedric Weber, Ryan M. Working, Matthew Yates West, Jamie Starr Westendorf, Lori Denise Wilkes, Jennifer Blair Wilson, Catherine Brooks Wilson, Michael Lawrence Woody, Summer Alicia Wyatt, Audrey Blair Yacobucci, James Yee, Peter Allen Ziss. For the bachelor's degree in economics, joining us will be Dr. J. Michael Morgan, chair of the department. Roisin L. Adams, Olga Alexandrova, also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration, cum laude. Jeremy Robert Alper, Suzanne Elaine King, Tree Marchink, J.C. McCune, Jacob Gordon Nielsen, also meets the requirements for a degree in business administration. T.J. Sack, cum laude. Robert Howard Whiteford, Angela Wild.
Assisting with the graduates from the School of Education will be Dean Nancy Sorensen. For the bachelor's degree in elementary education, joining us will be Dr. Virginia Bartell, chair of the department. Courtney E. Andrew, Jennifer Lynn Bahen, Frances Graham Baker, Virginia Cumming Barrow, Amy Caroline Berger, Jennifer J. Berry, Pamela Denise Blackwell, Jermaine Antonio Boyce, Laura Jane Brock, Amy Ansley Buckheister, Crystal Gail Burbage, cum laude, Emily Lauren Cassone, cum laude, Natalie Ann Clendaniel, Catherine Elizabeth Corson, Alexandra Troy Cotton, Bettina Tatum Kraft, Elizabeth Brooks DeRamus, Shelby Lynn Dominic, Scott Andrew Dowdy, Karen L. Dove, Rami Jane Driggers, Kim Ann Duda, Emily Parrish Ellswick, Shanek N. Ford, Andrea Jill Garrett, Ashley Privet Gasperson, Dorothy M. Green, Nicole Marie Harmelick, Stephanie Elizabeth Harrison, Molly Herrick, cum laude, Tony Muncie Herman, Denise Christine Hilton, Brooke Ann Hoffman, Candace Michelle Hunt, Crystal Renee James, Catherine Lee Johnson, Laura Turner Johnson, Jean Ann Jordan, Kimberly Allman Kaiser, Kimberly Gabrielle Kemp, Deborah A. King, Carolyn Hanks Kirksey, Rebecca Louise Knight, magna cum laude, Megan Jean Lance, Jennifer K. Lawrence, Norwood Catherine Lee, Pamela Ruth Levine, Whitney Bray Lewis, Andrew Ludicky Loredo, Jessica Lynn Mangold, Tara Ann Mathias, Ellen Dodge McElvain, Deidre Elizabeth McMahon, Kimberly Ann Moore, Mary Elizabeth Murdoch, Katie Ann Myers, Teresa R. Nissen, Mara Elizabeth Undu, Catherine Pope Palmer, Amy Hurley Pierce, Sabrina Michelle Polite, Catherine Michelle Quick, Kristen John Braley, Crystal Annelle Ransford, Amy M. Reeves, summa cum laude, Janice Natisha Reed, Ellen S. Rodenhauser, Heather B. Rothwell, Hannah Gibbons Ruark, magna cum laude, Sarah Elizabeth Steele, Casey Angela Strange, cum laude, Rhonda Lee Strawn, Catherine M. Strickland, cum laude, Mindy R. Sumner, Rachel Catherine Troman, Sherry Denise Williams, Jessica Michelle Winkler, Taylor Allen Withington, Anne Elizabeth Witt, Suzanne Elizabeth Wolf, Wendy L. Wood, Catherine Yount, Kelly Marie Zack. For the bachelor's degree in special education, joining us will be Dr. Frances Welch, chair of the department. Amy Michelle Adams, Margaret Claire Abashan, Beth Ann Casella, Tonya Denise Clark, Missy Elaine Croker, Elizabeth J. Davis, Lisa Ann DeFabio, Beth Fairbank Finley. Beth is also a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. Isla Mae Graham, Robin Renee Harper, cum laude. Melissa Lane Hius, Rebecca Elizabeth Hyde, magna cum laude. Allison Michelle Keck, Sylvia Nicole Marion, Patrick James McQueenie, Christina Myring, cum laude. Caroline Walsh Myers, Sadie Renee Neus, Megan L. Peck, Catherine Denise Pecor, Laura Suzanne Phillips, cum laude. Rebecca Jeanette Pearsall, Tiffany Suzette Rollins, Christine Diane Shuey, Tamara Lee Spader, Sarah Emily Swilling, Alita G. Thompson, Kimberly Michelle Tillman, Shannon Danica Tolbert, Amy Marie Valliere, Jessica Lynn Weiler, Paula Christine Westlager. For the bachelor's degree in physical education and health, joining us will be Dr. Andrew Lewis, chair of the department. Jamie Irene Branch, cum laude. Hazel Vic Celio Brooks. Mary Emily Burnett. Holly Lee Connor. Elizabeth Blair Cunningham. Gina Michelle DePasquale, Stephanie Denise Edwards, Carlton Ray Elliott. James Bernard Fleming, cum laude. Craig Furlano. Janae Latrice Gaines. Elizabeth Brooke Godwin. Michael Joseph Hickerson. Natasha Dawn Johnson. Crystal Louise Jones. Leah Brett Joyce, cum laude. Duke Kimsey, cum laude. Kevin Brian Kaiser. Brian Andrew Larkin. Tracy Leanne Manasco, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Mariana Manning. Melissa Lynn McGee. Olga Del Carmen McNally. Sarah Ann McNeil. Sarah K. Metz. Elizabeth Page Nance. Rebecca Ann Polster. Elizabeth D. Presley, magna cum laude. Stephanie Marie Ramsey. Kelly Lee Salters. Jason Stubbings. Gretchen Beth Tassinari. April Dawn Taylor. Sarah Shannon Wilcox, cum laude. Elizabeth Kate Wilson, cum laude. Tracy Faye Wright. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences will be Dean Samuel M. Hines, Jr. For the bachelor's degree in anthropology, joining us will be Dr. Christine Hope, chair of the department. Chad Travis Counts. Alexandria Rocket Dietz. Kirk David Koffelds. Melanie Kay. Richard Paul Lahan. Mary Elizabeth McPherson. James Alexander Mark. Ryan Taylor Martino. Susanna Noel Munson. Amy Melissa Parker. John Powell. Michael Robert Radcliffe Jr. Megan Aon Weedy. For the bachelor's degree in communication, joining us will be Dr. Nan Morrison, chair of the department. Tori Lynn Aquaro. Chad Alexander. Stephanie Diane Alexander. Dina Damas Amir. Karen Stephanie Apke. Benjamin Baker. Ryan Porter Balderson. Elizabeth Barnes. Melissa Ann Barrett. Michael Vincent Beatty. Lori Ann Belts. Craig Stephen Berendt. Griffin McGeth Betancourt. Karen Michelle Biganowski. Judith Amanda Blitch. Brooke Lindsay Boozer. Susan Lee Bostick. Sarah Catherine Boyenga. Carrie Ann Brady. Teresa Kelly Broom. Brian Lamar Brumfield. Jessica Jane Bruner. Suzanne Tennant Buck. Toya LaShawn Brown. Patrick Francis Burke. Christina Lynn Bertera. Christy Marie Butler. Deidre Ann Cahill. Patrice Danae Carroll. Jennifer Marie Chapman. She also meets the requirements for a degree in arts management. Summer Judith Childers. Amy Christine Trans. Amy Marie Cowman. She also meets the requirements for a Spanish degree. Callie McMillan Curry. Carolus Wood Daniel, Brian Davidson, Aaron Lee Davis, David Randall Dixon, also meets the requirements for a degree in psychology. Erin Ann Donlan, Diane DuPont, Jennifer S. Dyer, Adrina Nadine Ellison, Heather Michelle Elza, Brian Gregory Fay, Louis Jefferson Fox II, Amy Suzanne Franklin, Joy Lynn Garris, Jamie Gwen Gauthier, magna cum laude, Jonathan Pitts Allen Gensimer, Douglas Eugene Gilmer, Michael Joseph Gerato, Jamie Marie Helms Gregory, Aaron Paul Griffith, Anita Christie Hawes, cum laude, Lindsay Christine Hamilton, Laura Blakely Harrell, Jamie Lynn Harrington, Jason R. Harvey, Rebecca Hassell, Rebecca Lynn Hawkins, Letitia Janae Haynes, Julia Marie Jernigan, Eric Aaron Kasimov, Michael Francis Kelly, Spencer Frederick King, Olivia Colette Knight, Mackenzie Ann Hutchinson, Lindsay Ann Kovach, Kelly Marie Kraft, Christopher Redmond Kremlick, Lori Elizabeth Kwolek, Dana Nicole Lamont, Heather Ann LaPerouse, Michael Jeffrey Lawler, David M. Lawrence II, Blaine Lawson, Richard Colston Light, Hillary Christiane Lowers, Cecilia Frances Lovern, Daniel Matthew Lynch, Catherine K. Mattia, Bridget Lee McClung, Jennifer Diane McGuffey, Christopher Thomas Moeller, David Bradley Morrow, Kathleen K. Murray, cum laude, Janet Carolyn Neal, Elizabeth Poulos Norwood, Nicole Christine Opoulos, Christine Elizabeth Patterson, Gines Perez, Adria Poletta, Monica Celeste Price, cum laude, John Ledbetter Rollins, Susan Amanda Rhodes, Stephanie Renee Rice, Ann Lowe Richardson, Candace Kessler Romeo, Michael L. Rooney IV, Amy S. Russell, Michael Isa Saliba, Catherine Harmon Sandlin, Stephanie Schinkel, Jacqueline Leanne Sears, Scott Thomas Seidler, Lakeisha Renee Sellers, Mary Ruth Sharpton, Sean W. Smith, Kristen Dawn Solomon, Danielle Dominique Stefanik, Stephen Proctor Stokes, Paige Marie Travener, Christopher James Unbook, Wendy M. Vaughn, Hunter Montgomery Villa, Brian Wallace, Megan Stewart Wallace, Megan Ann Walsh, William Clayton Welsh, Williams' diploma will be presented by his mother, Professor Frances Welsh, Education Foundations and Specializations Department Chair. Heather B. Westmoreland. Lori Ann Whittington. Loring Bernard Williams. Nicole Williams. Elizabeth Farrell Williams. Aaron Benjamin Yaris. Mary Lindsay Wilson. For the bachelor's degree in English, Amanda Tatum Alerdo, magna cum laude. Paige Ann Avenger. Martha Dade Burkesh. Martha is also a graduate of the honors program. Travera Dawn Bowman. She's also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Gary Stephen Brackett Jr. Garrison R. Brownell. Janet Elizabeth Caldwell. Catherine Ann Crabtree. Carrie Ann Daniel. Arden McCullough Fields. Ann Weatherford Faherty. Michael Edwin Flynn. Richard L. Ford. Mina Marie Gouvel. Jacqueline Brooke Glover. Dana Mariah Hall. Robert Kelly Hanna. Julia Louise Harris. Jennifer Grace Job. Suzanne J. Kelly. Hillary Stevenson Kerr. Kareth Hope Kintee. Kelly Morel Lashaber. Tiffany Michelle Lauderdale. James Brandon Lee. Dennis Duffy Maxwell Jr. also meets the requirements for a degree in physics. Amanda M. McCall. Leia K. McDonald also meets the requirements for a degree in studio art. Melissa Catherine McNeil. Christine Marie Ragland.
A time ago, I received a letter from Christine Ragland, who has just received her diploma. Her letter reads in part, I am a disabled student currently enrolled at the College of Charleston and will be graduating this semester. My disability prevents me from taking my own notes, slows down my motor skills, and at times causes my speech to be inaudible. For these reasons, my sister, Della Ragland, drives me to school and accompanies me to class. She has been doing this since I was enrolled in the College of Charleston in 1995. In class, she interprets what I am saying if my peers and my professor cannot understand me, and she takes exceptional notes for me. She attends my classes when I cannot attend. Besides assisting me in class, Della helps me outside class as well. Each semester, she registers for me and makes sure I have the correct books for all my classes. She handles any problems that may arise with my financial aid. She schedules tests I have to take at the college and accompanies me to events that I am required to attend outside of class. In addition, Della is extremely helpful to me in the library when I need to do research. She types the information I dictate to her, and then she locates the book or article I need and acquires it for me. Even when I do my own research at home on my computer, She goes to the library for me after she gets off work. Although I have the mental capacity to attend college, I know that I would not have been able to do so without my sister's help. She is an absolutely wonderful, loving, and caring person who richly deserves her own degree from the College of Charleston. On my recommendation, the Board of Trustees has approved an honorary Bachelor of Arts degree. Now, that's the first honorary bachelor's degree in the 229-year history of the college, and I'm fairly sure that's the first honorary bachelor's degree ever awarded by any college. Dr. Summercrest will resume.
Anna Elizabeth Moore, Jennifer Lynn McIlvaney, Jacob Benjamin Perlmutter. His degree will be given by his father, Dr. Martin Perlmutter, professor of the philosophy department. Jill Christine Plating, Kate Laurel Richardson, cum laude, Ebony Shakira Summers, Jacob Ross White, Derek Williams, Kelly Denise Williams, Randall Paul Wright. For the bachelor's degree in history, joining us will be Dr. Marvin Delaney, chair of the department, Dyer McNeil Bell, Craig Gibbons Boson, Bryony Helen Bowers, Christopher Douglas Bradfield, Jeffrey Daniel Callahan, Ashley Elizabeth Camp. She's also a graduate of the honors program. Daniel Paul Dietrich, magna cum laude. David Allen Dubois, Michelle Elaine Dukes, Jaquetta Arlette Dunbar, Elizabeth Carter Edney. Elizabeth's diploma will be presented by her cousin, Charlotte Berry, member of the Board of Trustees. Sarah Elizabeth Edgerton, cum laude. Sarah M. Giangiorgi. Sarah is also a graduate of the honors program. Carolyn Louise Kimbrell. John Carlisle King. Todd Michael Conarans, William Clayton Landa, Charles Lawrence Laser, Carrie Ribbon Lucas, Samantha Louise Pearson, William Franklin McBride, William M. Morris, James Robert Nolan, Kelly O'Quinn, John Mercer Payne, Jaquetta Angelique Pitts, Lee Kelly Poe, Stephanie Michelle Rabin, Robert John Rokers, Eric William Rose. He also meets the requirements for biology. Vanessa Lynn Scharfenberg, Linda L. Scholl, Melissa Orr Smith, Michael Jackson Smith, Betty Cloyd Stacks, Joseph Elliott Sumney, Jason Eric Taylor. He also meets the requirements for communications. Abigail M. Walsh. She also meets the requirements for a degree in anthropology, cum laude. John Paul Ward, Jr. William Jason Weatherford. Daniel J. Wentz. For the bachelor's degree in French, joining us will be Dr. Robin Holman, representing the department. Kristen S. Bassett. Sophia Marie Fakori. Elizabeth Peach Lowry. Ann Simmons Middleton. Dina Marie Perotta. Jessica Pennington Schuler. Devin Colleen Sodden. Britta Jane Swenson, magna cum laude. John Kerrigan Tiller. For the bachelor's degree in German, joining us will be Dr. Frank Morris, chair of the department. Carrie Alice Armstrong. For the bachelor's degree in Spanish, joining us will be Dr. Andrew Subieso, chair of the department. Julie Denise Andrews. Nancy E. Brown. Allison Nicole Epps. She is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Erica Guerrero Farrell. Emily Luckett Fugit. Lindsay Melanie Nell Jackson. James Lewis Lip. Heather Eshel Olson. Catherine Park. Ginny Marshall Price. Jennifer Lynn Rowe. Laura Diane Shiflett, cum laude. Leah Nicole Sigafos. Jeremy Stewart Tunstill. For the bachelor's degree in philosophy, joining us will be Dr. Hugh Wilder, chair of the department. Brian Joseph Albrecht. Richard Kennedy Boggs. James Wesley Burnett, magna cum laude. Zachary Brooks Callison, cum laude. William George Carson, cum laude. Robert R. Dorset. Nicole Maines Fagala. Hannah Lynn Goldman. Joshua Andreas Mays, cum laude. Stephen James Sorrow.
For the bachelor's degree in political science, joining us will be Dr. Frank Petruzak, chair of the department. Jarrett William Bearden. Lucretia Bequade. Allison Lee Bell. Brad Eric Pella also meets the requirements for a degree in history. Brendan Jonathan Betts. Stephanie Michelle Bibbs. Ladonna Janine Blount. Brian David Brown. John Jason Burford. Catherine McKissack Chapman. Gavin F. Cronin. Matthew Charles Zuckery also meets requirements for a degree in history, cum laude. Julia Marie Daly, magna cum laude. Michael Dwayne Dennis. Julie R. Eason. James McLeod Irvin. Amanda Alicia Escamilla. Harriet Lynn Etheridge. John Nicholas Feldman. Christopher Douglas Gamble. Dan Evans Gibson. David Andrew Gilland. David Patrick Gunnels. Walker Calloway Hathcock. Stephanie Brewington Heap. Stephanie's diploma will be presented by Professor William Moore of the Political Science Department. Christopher James Hendricks. Talia Victoria Kosh also meets the requirements for a degree in Spanish. Seth R. Lockard. David Michael Lowe. Angie Lucarelli. Jonathan A. Marcantel also meets the requirements for a degree in history, cum laude. Kara Helen Martin. Elizabeth Moore McDaniel. Matthew Donald McPhail. Eliza Milt Chiva. Eliza is also a graduate of the honors program, magna cum laude. William Sean Owens. Joshua Thomas Peoples. Elizabeth Ann Schwartz. Richard Dean Singleton Brown. Elizabeth Ann Smith. Carrie Susan Smith. Holly Ann Smith. David Neil Snyder. Shannon Leanne Thornhill. Lindsay Paige Trulock. Molly Elizabeth Voris also meets the requirements for a degree in Spanish. David Francis Wambach. Melissa Layette Ward. Brandy L. Wine, summa cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in psychology, joining us will be Dr. Charles Kaiser, chair of the department. Sarah Alice Anthony. David Martin Appia. David D. Ashley. Jennifer Eileen Blackhall, cum laude. William Howard Budden, Jr. Tammy K. Burgess. Stephen Anthony Burns. Kelly Elaine Christensen. Tiffany Michelle Clemens. W. Jonas Coatsworth, cum laude. Valerie Dolores Connor. Charlotte Ann Crossland. John Cornelius Davis. Shannon Ashley Davis. Margaret Weisenhunt DeBerry. Shannon Kathleen Donahue, cum laude. Matthew Brian Doherty. Matthew is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Erin Samantha Drevitz also meets requirements for biology. Catherine Crawford Earls. Joshua Dean Enlow. Cassandra Ann Erizer. Ethel Ivy Espiritu. Lindsay Marie Farmer. Sarah Caroline Finklia. Mervyn Contago Fishback. Elizabeth Ruth Fletcher. Linda Betty Frazier. Rebecca Jill Fulmer also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Jillian Carol Gartland. Heather Harper Gordon. Shelley Lynn Graham. Kelly Ann Grow. Tara Parnell Gerard. Jennifer Ann Gustafson. Kelly Marie Hancock, summa cum laude. Julie Renee Harris. Candace Dasher Harvey. Michael Wellborn Hasty. Teresa Lynn Hayden. Douglas Rayburn Hickerson. Amy Elizabeth Hill. Dolores Gregory Holland. Allie Elizabeth Holmes. Jennifer K. Hopkins. Anna Marie House. Shelley Diane Irving, cum laude. Ashley Ann Jenkins. John Michael Johnson. Melanie E. Johnson. Lisa M. Josephson. Stephanie P. Judy. Kathleen Geske Kelly. Catherine Bonnie Kelly. Megan Elizabeth Kelly. Micah Jason Killian. Justin Barrett Lamb. Gabriel Henry Landreth. Stephanie Denise Lee. Ashley Reed Lukehart. Amy Suzanne Maroulis. Colleen Becker Marshall. Cecil Mahi Mazanga. Shannon Ellen McDowell. Jessica Wild McDuffie. Eleanor Patterson Mezek. Julie Kate Milner. Julie is also a graduate of the honors program. Julie Ann Mock. Tammy Elaine Murillo. Darren B. Pang. Vanessa Racine Perry. Cassia Lee Peterson. Mary Elizabeth Porter. Stuart Nicholas Pumpley. Julie Nichols Quillen. John Philip Rhodes also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Robin Michelle Ridings. Courtney Lynn Ross, summa cum laude. Kelly D. Ruland. Thomas Sloan Russell. Rachel Sarah Shaw. Anna Elizabeth Schuler. April Elizabeth Sloan. Angela G. Smith. Timothy Jason Sparks. Mary M. Stegmeyer. Allison Elizabeth Straub. Tracy Nicole Terrell. Olivia Marie Thompson. Heather Lane Trantham. David Matthew Tripp. Joshua Robinson Troya. Jessica Catherine Tyner. Jill Vermillion also meets the requirements for a degree in communication. Virginia Harrington Waits, magna cum laude. Katie Louisa Wicker. Elizabeth Lynn Widmeyer. Molly Page Wiggins. Amy Marie Wilkerson, magna cum laude. Catherine Susan Wright also meets requirements for biology. Gabriella Ann Young. Angela Gail Zitkus. For the bachelor's degree in religious studies, joining us will be Dr. June McDaniel, director of the department. Ready? Jason Dustin Bryant. Stephanie Alnell Huguenin, cum laude. Misty Nicole Isaac also meets the requirements for a degree in psychology, cum laude. Alexander Winston Kane. Alicia D. O'Brien. Dana Pachersky. Jennifer Lynn Ryson. For the bachelor's degree in sociology, joining us will be Dr. Christine Hope, chair of the department. Gabrielle Nara Binder. Dawn Renee Bowen, cum laude. Kimberly Tennille Burton. Lee Milam Cabrinas. Carolyn Alice Chatham. Jamie Lynn Chestnut. Jared Douglas Cleland. Leslie Ann Dalton. Monica Lynn D'Amato. Renee Doolittle. Joanne Dupree. Polly Ann Edwards. Kelly Ann Fairchild, magna cum laude. Jenna Ann Farris. Angela R. Flanagan, cum laude. Hillary Farnsworth Gaunt. Stephen Wayne Gauss. Melissa Margaret Goff. Heidi Lee Goldstein. LaDonna Renee Green. Leah Smoke Harley. Brian Jeffrey Hines. Ashley Elizabeth Howes. Nikki Javon Jett. Nicole Leanne Jones. Jennifer Legree. Christina Michelle Leonie. Mary Karen Lewis. Catherine Ann Mercer. Laura Marie Milburn. Sherry Lynn Ormiston. Cynthia J. Pedrick. Jennifer Lee Powers, with a Women's Studies minor, cum laude. Micah Roughton. Anne Marie Sherrard, also with a Women's Studies minor. Elizabeth Carol Robinson. Kristen Kathleen Sewell. Jennifer M. Steffen. Meredith Lee Swigert. Michael Calloway Templeton. Margaret Ann Tyndall. Tara Nicole Vaughn. Lara Hart Weber. Laura. Richard Guathme Weld. Jamie Lee Wright. Amy Elizabeth Ziegler. For the bachelor's degree in urban studies, joining us will be Dr. Jane McCullough, director of the program. Martha Haley Fleming. Haley also meets the requirements for a degree in sociology. Jessica Lauren Judelson. Kevin Thomas Krapp. Allison Lee Mark. Thomas Bradley Middleton. Nicholas Hamill Peterson also meets the requirements for a degree in historic preservation and community planning. Courtney Leah Purcell. Catherine Kimberly Wade. Assisting with the graduates from the School of Science and Mathematics will be Dean Gordon Jones. For the bachelor's degree in biology, joining us will be Dr. Michael Auerbach, chair of the department. Susan Mildred Atkins. Eric Andrew Alexander. Christine Elizabeth Altman, magna cum laude. Terry Elizabeth Anderson. Kristen J. Ashburn. Brittany Halls Ashworth. Elizabeth Lauren Atkins. Brandon Michelle Bailey. Robin S. Baker. Nandini Banik. Kristen Hunter Bowenfind. Suzanne Renee Baxter. Trisha Suzanne Beagle. Catherine Jane Claire Bell. Sarah Abigail Benedum. Barbara Tapp Bernard. Seth Richards Bishop. Megan Schaefer Bloom, cum laude. Nina Michelle Bogues. Electra Shantae Bradshaw. Jennifer M. Bragel. Jennifer is also a graduate of the honors program and magna cum laude. Wade Thomas Britton. Thomas James Brooks. Krista Nicole Bunker. Thomas Patrick Burns. Julian Harper Campbell, cum laude. Michael Alexander Carducci. Keith Charles Carver, magna cum laude. Leslie Ann Chestnut. Lindsay Elaine Crosby. Ronald Lee Kundiff. Frenetta L. Dinkins. Caroline Yoshino Dove, cum laude. Thomas Thurston Edwards III. Jonathan Duluton Elgunrico. Sasha Christian Ellison. Catherine Boone Evans. Andrew Joseph Fleming. Andrew is also a graduate of the honors program and cum laude. Courtney Ann Forrester. Isabel Catherine Frampton. Estella Gustillo. Ingrid Marie Hanna. Nancy Elizabeth Harper, cum laude. John Ashley Holt. Adria Corin Hallwell. Adria is also a graduate of the honors program and summa cum laude. Shannon Lee Hopkins also meets the requirements for a degree in studio art. Cindy Renee Hughes. Christopher Clay Jennis. Margot Angela Jimenez. Marsha Ann Jones. Nathan Richard Kaminsky. Lee Nessa Kenny, cum laude. Deborah Elaine King. Amy Melissa Karenchik also meets the requirements for a degree in Spanish. Benjamin Allen Laws, Kimberly Dawn Lee, Veronica Ann Letty, Jennifer Elizabeth Leverett, cum laude, Angela Renee Loads, cum laude, Lauren Latoya Loftley, also meets the requirements for a degree in French. Lisa K. Martin, Mark Salvador Martinez, Tyson W. McCormick, Bonnie Lee McWhorter, Jessica Kathleen Muller, Marvin Starr Murdahl III, Catherine A. Murray, Kimberly Dawn Peregrine, Lacey M. Pounder, summa cum laude, Joy L. Priester, Ronjay Rackett, John Duncan Randall, Megan Marie Ray, Janet Lynn Rich, James Reed Roberts III, Kelly L. Rose, Bridget Diana Roth, Elizabeth Ann Rux, cum laude, Danielle Renee Sheritz, Lena Marita Spangler, Andrew Cooper Stengel, Kelton Arthur Sumter, Nicola Lynn Taylor, Joshua Hans Zoltny, Morgan Lynn Wolko, Lee Kristen Wachowski, William Todd Whitehouse, Shelley Louise Wilcox, summa cum laude, Kathleen Ellen Yonts, Aaron Conrad Zelanis, Kathleen Diane Zimmerer, for the bachelor's degree in marine biology, Amanda Carol Broderick, Jacqueline Noel Daly, Shannon Renee Devens, Andrea Jean Grabman, Thomas Shelby Hollingsworth, Shannon Kuzik, Donovan Isaac Lusk, James George Maestas, also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Lauren Jean Matthews. William Brent Merritt also meets the requirements for a degree in biology. Jennifer Dawn Millard, marine biology, also meets the requirements for a degree in biology, magna cum laude. Marcia Denise Musgrove, summa cum laude. Carrie Lynn O'Malley. Kimberly A. Ryan also meets the requirements for biology. Amy Michelle Schmidt. Amy is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Andrew Scherger. Boris Paul Claude Van Dyke. Jeremy Bosifus Wharton. Allison Elizabeth White. Christopher Maddox Wilkinson also meets the requirements for biology. For the bachelor's degree in biochemistry, joining us will be Dr. James Deaver, chair of the department. Graduates receiving a degree in biochemistry also meet the requirements for chemistry. Ruben Olagohe Ambenge, Claire Lynn Chandler, Julie Marie Cox. Julie is also a graduate of the honors program and magna cum laude. Benjamin Brewer Elder, Kyle Bradley Ellison. Brian Andrew Game also meets the requirements for biology. Alap Rutkumar Johnny also meets the requirements for anthropology. Mark Ibrahim Caldas. Mark dedicates his degree to his Uncle Fo and Aunt Miriam. Bradley Allen Mitchell also meets the requirements for marine biology and biology. Joseph Nolan Myers. Ainsley Melissa Peel. Leslie Michelle Potter. Charles Philip Toussaint, magna cum laude. Elizabeth N. Wiggins, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in chemistry, Christopher Daniel Hornsby also meets requirements for biochemistry. He is a graduate of the honors program and summa cum laude. Patrick Michael Moore. Amy Catherine Pendergrass. Mary Elizabeth Rampey also meets the requirements for a degree in biochemistry. Mary is also a graduate of the honors program. Xiong Chao Soon. Jennifer Ann Towns also meets the requirements for a degree in Spanish. She is also a graduate of the honors program. Jennifer is cum laude. Donald J. Traver. Jason Kenneth Vose also meets the requirements for biochemistry and classics, cum laude. Ryan Ellery Watkins also meets the requirements for biochemistry and biology. Ryan is also a graduate of the honors program. Anna Kathleen White. For the bachelor's degree in computer information systems, joining us will be Dr. Christopher Starr, chair of the department. Frank Allen Leary. Royal Van Wynn. Christopher Scott St. Amand. For the bachelor's degree in computer science, Eric Morgan Betzold. Wee T. Bowie. Brian Charles Sandrowski. David Murray Dabney also meets the requirements for a degree in mathematics, cum laude. Brian Gager. Robert Eric Gorlitsky, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in geology, joining us will be Dr. Mitch Colgan, geology chair-elect. James Bandel. Christina Wren Coker. Tara Elizabeth Cutter. Brett Kyle Davis. Margaret Eileen Duffy also meets the requirements for anthropology. Eileen is also a graduate of the honors program, cum laude. Jennifer Lynn Guelfo. Catherine Lynn Gurley. James DeBoe Hackett. Matthew William Henniger. Timothy Brian McCall. Kurt James McCoy. Nicole Denise Sheeman. Eric Andre Van Drost. For the bachelor's degree in mathematics, joining us will be Dr. Deanna Cavaney, chair of the department. Elaine Bannister is also a graduate of the honors program. Sarah Ellen Giambra also meets the requirements for Spanish. Sarah is also a graduate of the honors program and cum laude. Natalie Renee Huneau. Sonia Winter Killian. Dmitry Todorov Milkov. Dmitry is also a graduate of the honors program and magna cum laude. Emily Susan Omler. Lamarlo Mary Phelps. Holly Elizabeth Pittman. Holly is also a graduate of the honors program and magna cum laude. Casey Emerald Ryan. Heather Louise Veu also meets the requirement for a degree in French, cum laude. For the bachelor's degree in physics, joining us will be Dr. Robert Dukes, chair of the department. Christopher John Brown. Joey Howard Foxall. Joey is also a graduate of the honors program and summa cum laude. Erin Elizabeth Glenn. Jennifer Lockman. Dina C. McMahon. Andrew Gordon Miller. David Wayne Ward, magna cum laude.
Not quite yet. Will all the candidates for bachelor degrees please rise? Now, stand up. Okay. And now, at long last, by the authority granted to me by the College of Charleston Board of Trustees, the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science as earned has been conferred upon these candidates. And now please sit back down. At this time, the degree of Audium Baccalaureatus will be awarded. The College of Charleston, unique among American colleges and universities and unique among the colleges and universities of the world, has awarded the degree for more than 2 centuries classical languages and the study of classics. That grand tradition continues today in the persons of Paul Alvin Bryan, a classics major, William George Carson, a philosophy major, and Jason Kennett Vors, a classics, biochemistry, and chemistry major. Will they please rise? Rise. No, not you. Just them. Just them. Okay. Y'all stay seated. Just those 3. But it is the tradition for the audience to stand. So will the audience please rise? And now in the language of Rome, the classical Latin, carvuribus taurus, auctorita detrinimus tibus, Horace Venus in humanus oriabus, lituopus plecaribus, agrandum artidus bacalis atus, amisa curatibus. The degree has been awarded. We who have been your teachers have taught you all we know. We await with pride and hope the unfolding of your dreams, the achievement of your goals, the emergence of your vision. Now, I'm not going to give you the cliche of every graduation ceremony. I'm not going to tell you the future is yours. The future is not a gift. Nobody can give it to you. It's an achievement. It has to be earned and earned every day after today. But if you have your feet firmly planted on level ground, if you face the future supremely confident, if you are convinced that you know all the answers, then the College of Charleston has failed you. The future doesn't belong to self-satisfied people or people who are content with today, nor does it belong to those who have forgotten the past. We are now becoming a part of your past, and we hope you'll remember us. I said that to many of you. We hope you'll remember to teach us as we once taught you. And if you live a long, long time and still believe that the sun gilds your path with real gold and the moon and stars float in real silver, then remembering someday the purple shadows of the cistern, the colonnades of Randolph Hall, and the dreams of your youth, you may always say with reverence, pride, and appreciation that on the 15th day of May, 1999, you received the honor of honors. You graduated from the College of Charleston.